a comparative study, I'll explore the similarities and differences between two drama films, The Grand Budapest Hotel, an American film directed by Wes Anderson in 2014, and The Brighter Summer Day, a Taiwanese film directed by Edward Yan in 1991. The Grand Budapest Hotel, set in 1932, shows two conflicts: people's battling for process resonance painting and World War II involving Gustav, a typical upperclassman, and his lobby boy, a refugee, Zero, through four-layered narrative structure. On the other hand, A Brighter Summer Day depicts the struggle and confusion of the young, such as the protagonist, a rebellious teenager, Xiao, as a miniature of the lost and chaotic Taiwanese society in the early 1960s. To get a deeper understanding of the themes of genre, let's look at the definition of drama. Drama portrays realistic characters and human beings through character developments and interaction, as well as conflict in life situations. Both two films employ unreliable narratives to showcase the whole historical background at a macro level. In The Grand Budapest Hotel, it's Zero who presents the image of Gustav, an age of the loss of culture, spirit, and humanity in Europe. In A Brighter Summer Day, Edward Yan showcased the lost and chaotic Taiwanese society under pressing political martial law and white terror through a rebellious and stubborn teenager. Interestingly, the two directors, especially Edward Yan, often uses long shot. By keeping a long distance with characters, the film presents the background of the whole era objectively, and the large negative space shows the repression of the establishments and characters' loss, weakness, and inability when confronted with a society dominated by ideology conflicted with their own belief systems. The two films also have their own narrative structure. Wes Anderson used four-layer narrative structure to show the changes of media with developments of times. With changes of narrators, the ratio of the scenes changes from modern 1.85 to 1, then to 16.29, and finally to 1.37 to 1, which is used during the celluloid era. The narrative relationship is also shown in this scene when Gustav talks with Zero. Zero is in the mirror and is shown to audiences, so Gustav actually speaks to the audiences through screen. This not only implies that information transmitted is also changing from word to mouth to books and then to film nowadays telling stories to audiences, but also it allows audiences to be part of the story. Since A Brighter Summer Day aims to showcase the whole picture of Taiwanese society, Edward Yan uses novelistic and narrative narration to present a story. From the perspective of the protagonist, Xiao, you can see people from many aspects of society, including Xiao's father, Ming, Honey, Cat, teachers, people from the 217 gang. Their experiences and reactions are shown when they suffer from and be destroyed or changed by the chaotic and confusing society under the White Terror. Using over 100 actors, Edward Yan explores the experiences of idealist people like Xiao and Honey and their conflicts with other people who follow the mainstream ideology. Both two films involve wars. One conflict is at the beginning of the World War II, and one right after the war, when Kuomintang was expelled by the communists to Taiwan, a tiny island. The two films, set in wartime, don't focus on war. Instead, the existence of war in the films are more like the BGM of the whole era. The existence of war is shown from people's several words, metaphors, and background. It is not obvious, but it hugely affects the society. Changes brought by it are one of the main reasons of conflicts of one's belief system and social ideology. In The Grand Budapest Hotel, Gustav is a marginal man stuck between his own wonderful world with humanity and society right at the beginning of World War II, when humanistic care is lost and when money and status are paramount. It's worth noticing that this film came out in 2014, only 2 years after the closure of Hollywood's last homegrown film printing plant that marks the end of the great celluloid era. The film is part of a small wave that is the memorial ceremony of the film itself. So Wes Anderson actually showcases things that are dead at personal, cultural, and political levels.
I left because of the war.
Edward Yan's film, known as the scalpel of Taiwanese society, lies at the dark side of society by showing violence, confusion, and the ideals of Taiwanese people. A Brighter Summer Day is a film in Taiwanese new wave with collapse of authoritarian rule, reach out to taboo subjects in the past, reviewed and discussed the modern society, history, and memory of Taiwan. Since the 1990s, the political struggle between mainstream and non-mainstream factions appeared in Taiwan, and the opposition between ethnic groups and national identity began to emerge in Taiwan society. There were two levels of conflicts in this film: conflicts between mainlanders as well as natives, and conflicts between heroic idealism and the corrupt and bureaucratic ideology of chaotic Taiwanese society under martial law. Gustav, a middle-aged man from the upper class, and Xiao, a teenager boy from a scholarly family. Their personalities are different. One well-mannered, enthusiastic, and one introverted, but sometimes reckless and valorous. But there is an important similarity in their value systems, which makes these two individuals' fates similar in a similar historical background in which the establishments dominate the society. Gustav or Xiao's father or Honey, all believe in humanity and have heroic idealism that they think they can change others' thoughts and make people do what the people think is justified according to their value systems. They fight for justification, which does not exist in their time. They all inevitably pay the price for betraying the norm and dehumanized social ideology, loss of life or collapse of value and belief system. In The Grand Budapest Hotel, it is Gustav's arrogant heroism and idealism about humanity in his time that led to his death. He believes that his social status gained by his efforts would enable him to protect everyone. He thought that love and humanity would overpower evil and conflict. But he's wrong because he's born at a time when humanistic care and European culture is lost with development. Or you can say that he's actually aware of the reality, but he's just stubbornly maintaining the wonderful fantasy.
Filthy goddamn popcorn precious assholes!
In A Brighter Summer Day, there were three kinds of characters, together portraying individuals' resistance against a bureaucratic and non-social ideology shaped by turbulence and insecure social backgrounds. Min is a typical person who lacks security and can only depend on men to live. She knows well about the dark side of the society, so she surrendered to the world and lived numb. Xiaosi, his father, and Honey symbolize people idealist and resisting against the numb and bureaucratic social ideology, but they either lose life or believe and value system.
都是真的吗？你一定不能骗我，我会受不了的。你太自私了，要改变我，我就跟这个世界一样，这个世界是不会变的。你以为你是谁啊？
你没有出息啊你！不要脸，没有出息啊！
The dramatic change of Xiaosur's father is a typical example. Before being caught by cops, he is determined about his principle. But after this incident, he loses all his self-esteem and becomes timid. The two films both use a substance as the motif to symbolize spiritual or cultural level. The Grand Budapest Hotel's rise and fall symbolize the dying of cellular era, humanistic here, and as well as European culture. The transition time shapes people like Gustav, who still maintains a wonderful fantasy with humanity. A Brighter Summer Day uses light as the clue. Xiaosi, as a youthful idealist, explores the chaotic and lost Taiwanese society through the light. The light enables him to see how the dark side of society is, as well as people's struggles. But in the end, everything falls apart for him, so he breaks the light and refuses to see. Unlike the former two kinds of people, Cat's passion for Elvis' son, Are You Lonesome Tonight, symbolized Taiwanese society's resistance to the status quo and hope for new life, which is expressed through the English name of this film, which is a lyric from the Elvis song, A Brighter Summer Day.
Are you sorry?
All in all, the two films showcase the dilemma of people with belief systems conflicted with social ideology and explore the cause as well as the effects of that.
Whence
the
came
two directors
these
also
two
expressed hope
radiant celestial brothers united for an instant as they crossed the stratosphere of our starry window? One from the east and one from the west.
Very good.
好了，搁着就行了。
Sir，记得我录了这首歌吗？你猜我把它寄给谁？我寄去给猫王，他回我信了哎。他信上写，他的歌竟然在一个不知名的小岛上这么受欢迎，他很感动，他还送给我一个礼物哎，就是你看不到。
小太保。
我现在天天戴着他送给我的戒指，很屌哎。是，不知道哪天可以让你拔一下。
Even though sometimes hope is ignored and trampled.
Come on.
Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry?